All righty. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
All righty. So I'd like to take this time out to welcome the congregation of Haiti. We are in the process of taking down the pertinent information and to begin your travel plans, planning your travel to come and join the congregation here. And as for anyone else that will be joining us, let me also speak to the congregation in Tanzania and to any others that wish to come. Please reach out to us. This is what the fundraising is about, because we have to build the housing for you. We also have to have our own businesses so that you can come in and have employment. And this raises the money for the community and the money for yourselves as well. So this is what the money is for, because the people in Haiti are very, very poor. They have travel documents, but they don't have much food. They are struggling. So we need to get them out. So we'll be working very closely and with our embassy contacts, and we're going to get them out and here in a few months and see if we can get them here. So we kind of need to expedite the fundraising. So those who are going to be donating, please do so, because we have to facilitate their flights, visas, and other requirements, because each country's travel requirements is different per person. So it has to be prevalent. I want to thank all of those that are coming out to support. So we'll be coordinating this throughout the year.
Yes.
All right. So moving forward, that's the assembly update.
Yes.
So moving forward, we are now going to Numbers, Bidmidbar in the desert, chapter 8. And Yahweh spake with Moses, Moshe, Musa, saying, speak with Aaron. So you'll notice this pattern. So we're talking about order. Okay? So the Most High will call for Moses. He gives Moses an instruction and tells Moses which orders to give to who about what situation. Moses then goes and speaks to the head of whichever tribal family according to their ordering, and tell them what needs to be done according to the instruction. So this is it's not politics. The position you're appointed to is the position you're appointed to, and you're going to be in it. It don't move.
Right.
Okay? Somebody else may raise up. That ain't got nothing to do with your job. Your job is fixed. So in looking at this, the king is the king. The one who has received the instruction is given them. In this case, it's me. I'm giving you the instruction, and we're gathering the people to order them and organize them back on the land as a kingdom. This is not a business venture. There is no profitability here. We have too many people selling their nobility for profitability in business. This is not that. Okay, so we have to, as nobility, we provide the businesses for people to profit and to sustain themselves. That's the system. Okay, so this is what we're doing. So as the leaders of groups come and reach out to me, they are added to the roll of the registry of the congregation, and then we begin coordinating to have them come out. Those who have finances contribute for those who have not finances. Okay? Everybody gets here, they all have the same problem. You all need a place to sleep, a place to live. You all need some work to do, which profits you and the community at large. Okay? And food to eat, of course.
Right.
So these three things is what we provide. Of course, it is through your joint contribution that we establish these things in a way that is profitable to you, our congregation.
Yes.
Okay? So now we have Moses, and he's saying to Aaron, speak with Aaron and say to him, at the time when thou dost kindle the lamps upon the candelabrum, all the 7 lamps shall be alight. 3 on the western side and 3 on the eastern side, and the 7th in the middle. So you've seen this menorah practice where they lighten one light at a time and one for each day, and that ain't hitting on nothing.
Right.
First of all, the menorah must be positioned with 3 branches to the west and 3 branches to the east, and you light them all. Okay? All right. And Aaron did so. At the face of the candelabrum, he lit the lamps thereof as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And this was the work of the candelabrum, which was of beaten gold. From its foundations unto its lilies, the work of the artificer, with the hammer was it wrought, according to the vision which Yahweh had showed Moses. So did Bezaleel make the candelabrum. So now, when you go back to the Exodus story,
Right.
this is the instruction that was given with the instruction to make it.
Yes.
So they made it. Now you make it. This is how you light it. It must be lit this way. So as you can see, this is all compiled. It is stacked on top of each other. It is not linear, one step, and then time passes. And no. This is showing you, according to what they were working at the time, this is the layering. Okay, so there is a layering of the law. Okay? And Yahweh spake with Moshe, saying, bring the Levites out from among the sons of Israel and purify them. So now the Levites were all mixed in,
Right.
and now they're separated out. Now that you know what the orders of the camps were,
Right.
so now they are brought out, sorted out into their camps. Okay? So there's a whole mix coming out. You don't come out sorted.
Right.
You came out all any old kind of way. Then, according to who you are and what you do, you are sorted.
Yes.
This is your appointment. It is what it is. It don't change. Okay? So they brought the Levites out and to purify them. And this shalt thou do to purify them. Sprinkle upon them the water for uncleanness through sin, the shatata. Okay? And let the razor pass over all their flesh, and let them wash their raiment, and wash them in 40 sabins of water. Okay? So now you are hearing what the Levite consecration is. Okay? So they take a razor blade and they shave everything.
Everything?
everything.
Oh, good.
Okay?
Yes.
All their flesh, all. And wash their raiment, they wash their clothes, and wash them in 40 soppings of water. And they shall take a young bullock and its minka of flour sprinkled with olive oil, and thou shalt take a second young bullock for a sin offering, and thou shalt bring the Levites before the tabernacle of ordinance, and gather together also all the congregation of the sons of Israel. So you have to understand, when the Levites are installed, the congregation must be together first. They are taken out from the congregation after the congregation has been brought out and organized. There's stages to this. So here's what I'm doing. You see me now, I am gathering out the congregation a little at a time. Okay? Establishing the congregation, the provision, place to stay, the encampment, the whole 9 yards. We are gathering the congregation. From the congregation, at a later time, once we have established that we have everything for the Levites to be installed, we will take from the congregation the Levites. So everybody is all together, mix and mingle.
Right.
Then you sort this. Then you take the Levites out, and they must be sorted too to make the encampment. Okay? So there's a process of sorting, organizing, and purification.
Yes.
All right? Thou shalt bring the Levites before Yah, and the sons of Israel shall lay their hands upon the Levites. And Aaron shall present the Levites as an elevation before Yah from the sons of Israel, and they shall be for the work of the service of Yah. Okay? So now when you're talking about nobility, we are talking about the service to the orders, to the instruction. It is not politics. Politics is only found in business, because this is a work anyone can do. However, in nobility, there is no such thing as anyone can do it. The one who does it is appointed, and the one who is appointed does it. They are one in the same.
So pretty much, as we see here, Musa being the king, he was given the instructions.
And he organized and ordered the people.
Right. So through Musa, the Levite, the head of the Levite and the Levites were made known. And it's not the Levite choose the king, but the king is who's the one that receives the orders
To organize and
appoint
appoint everyone in their position at their times.
Yes.
It doesn't change. Okay?
Got you.
So the questions about what comes first and what comes second and this, all of that is all part of the instruction, the manuscript. It is open for all to read. However, the instructions of the orderings, the understanding is given in following the orders, not in anyone thinking they can read better than the one appointed. If the one appointed makes a mistake, that burden is upon the one appointed.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
They're appointed, it has to go according to how they say to do it. Vice versa. If the one who achieves it, there's a work needs to be done, he achieves it. Him not being appointed yet will be appointed after.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Yes.
So you'll see this a lot. The one who has this victory over this will take a daughter and become a prince in my house.
Yeah.
Why? This daughter is promised a prince. That's the one that's appointed to her. But this prince has to win by the merit, the proof that he is who he claimed or wishes to be. So he does the work. In doing the work, he has achieved the merit for the appointment.
Mm-hmm.
And it was always appointed to him because he achieved the merit.
Right. Right. And so that which is appointed cannot be changed.
Cannot be changed. That which is appointed cannot be changed. And the merit that is achieved cannot be discredited.
Yes.
You cannot discredit the merit that is achieved. All right? And the Levites shall lay their hands upon the head of the bullocks and make one a sin offering and one a burnt offering to atone for the Levites. And thou shalt place the Levites before Aaron and his sons, and present them as an elevation before Yah, and thus shalt thou separate the Levites from among the sons of Israel, that the Levites may be ministers before me. This word ministers is administration.
Mm-hmm.
This word ministers has nothing to do with religiousness.
Right.
This is an administration.
And we see that here when you see this building, the ministry of this.
Right. The ministry of agriculture, the ministry of foreign affairs, the ministry of, okay?
Yes.
So again, the ministers don't have any power to interpret or change the laws and the ordinations given them. They are simply to enforce that law, that it operates in the way it is prescribed. That is all. That's what a minister is. Okay? Afterwards, the Levites may enter to fulfill the service of the tabernacle of ordinance when thou shalt have purified them and presented them as an elevation. For separated, they are separated before me from among the sons of Israel, instead of every one who openeth the womb, the firstborn of all who are of the sons of Israel have I taken to be before me. So the Most High is explaining now, because according to the previous ordering, the priesthood, the kingship, and the birthright went to the firstborn. This was the Malka Zadikah, the Melchizedek order. These three rights belong to the firstborn that openeth the womb. Okay? And all these belong to the service of the Most High to fulfill all of these positions as ministers. Okay? Now the Most High is saying, we are now separating the Levites and appointing this service of the tabernacle and all the other things appointed to it, to these Levites as ministers. according to this law of instruction, because this is how I am ordering my nation to be. There's no religion involved. I'm telling you, see it clearly. There's no religion involved. We're talking about a kingdom, its nobility, and how the service is run. Okay? For every firstborn of the sons of Israel is mine, whether of man or of beast. In the day that I slew all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim, I sanctified them before me. I separated them before me. So again, in separating them, he killed the others and kept these alive, literally separating them from. Okay? And I have taken the Levites instead of all the firstborn of the sons of Israel. I have taken the Levites instead of, okay? And have given the Levites as gifts unto Aaron and unto his sons from among the sons of Israel, to minister the service of the children of Israel in the tabernacle of ordinance, and to atone for the children of Israel, lest there be mortality among the children of Israel at the time when they approach the sanctuary. The sanctuary is a safe place. It is not the building. As you can clearly see, the tabernacle of ordinance, the tabernacle of testimony, okay, is separate from the sanctuary. The sanctuary is the larger place to facilitate the habitation of all the seed of the children of Israel. That is the safe place. It is the gathering place, the encampment. Okay?
And you know, as we can see, the sanctuary was established in the wilderness first, not in the land.
Right. So before you go into the land, you first come to a place of reorganization. That is the sanctuary. Hence, where you receive the ordinances, the orders and instructions. That's what an ordinance is. The orders and instructions of how you are to reorganize. Okay. And to atone for the children of Israel. So we know you're coming out, you don't know the laws, customs, traditions, and you haven't been doing it, so you require atonement. You are guilty through your ignorance. So we're bringing you out, you're coming out to learn and to get reorganized. You don't know.
So when it states about us being brought into the wilderness, it's more about being brought into the wilderness for
Reorganization.
Gotcha.
Right? The wilderness is a wild place for wild beasts. Coming out of captivity, you have all of these wild and strange practices which liken you unto wild beasts. We'll be right back. All righty, we're back.
You were saying about being onto like wild beasts.
So you're like wild beasts. You do not know the orderings, the instructions, the culture of lifestyle in which the law abides in. So you have to reestablish all of these boundaries, all of these protections. Okay?
Right.
You come from a place and the women were free. Now there is an order. They are in a certain place. The men are free. Now there is an order. The men are in a certain place. The instructions that are given is how we abide by. The instructions is the prescribed positioning that we should be in. This keeping of the instruction is nobility.
So when the prophet speaks about, I believe it's Isaiah, when he speaks about being and going to the wilderness of the nations, it's not so much about a actual physical place of wilderness, but it is this here, the reorganization of us as a nation, because we literally have to be reorganized.
Right. And so you have to leave from where you are to come into a place where they allow you to reorganize, which is why we are here in Jordan. You have to be within a kingdom to understand and learn how to function like a kingdom before you go into the land. When you go into your land, you must already be in a certain order because the land has a covenant
Yes.
to only keep the people who function in a specific order. So the ordinances are to bind us to our land. So you don't get one before the other. So now there is a transition. You're coming out of the wild, right? You have been living amongst wild and unruly people under the umbrella of freedom. Now you're coming into the wilderness, right? Which is the place where the wild beasts really are, to be reorganized so we can go into our civilization.
And I'm just sitting here thinking about what you're saying. It's like a child is birthed through a woman. That is the kingdom. A child can't be birthed through a man,
Right.
which will be a democracy, because that is allowed in a.
You can do whatever you want.
It can't be
There's
done
no
with-
rules. It appears to be there's no rules. There are rules, but there is no order.
Yeah.
It's just out of context. There is no. Think of it this way. Right now, we're scattered all over the world. So
Yes.
I have to take people from the US, people throughout all the countries of Africa, people who have lived in Europe, people who have lived in South America, Australia, and throughout Asia. Okay? We all look the same. Like we are all of the same people. I have to take all of these people, and now you have to shed off the I'm Jamaican, the I'm an American, and become just Bani Israel, to just become the people of the book, to embody that and to live it. You're going to have to shed wherever you were. You can't come in and be Brazilian. When you come in, you'll be Brazilian. However, You're coming here to get rid of that and become the son of your father's house, taking back on his attributes, his culture, his ways in full. Because you may have a part, you may have some remnant of this, a story, right?
Yes, sir.
Some people come in and it's just a feeling, right? A dream. A dream led me to come to you. I know. We have a covenant. It will call you however it needs to
Yes.
for you to come in and fulfill the instruction. But you have to shed off this again. You have to let go of where you came from to come back into this nobility. You cannot have both.
Right. And the example I was given was pretty much about a kingdom can only be birthed from a kingdom. It can't be birthed any other way.
Right. You cannot be in a democracy
Trying to live
and
kingdom life.
trying to formulate a kingdom.
No, you can't do it.
Because the culture of that country will not, it will not lend to it. Right now, like you have kingdoms in Europe, so people in Europe understand kingdoms
Yeah.
a little bit, because those are
Look corrupt.
crazy. The people here in the Middle East understand kingdoms. The people in Asia understand kingdoms because these places have always had kingdoms. The New World in the West, the Americas, they have all of these democracies, and a democracy is just a business. It is a place to foster politics where people can take turns by vote on who's in charge because everybody has a better idea about how things should be done. In a kingdom, we have no idea about how things should be done because everything is given by our forefathers, by our ancestors. So we know what the outcomes of decisions are and how best to run the kingdom from their historical standpoint. Okay? So now, chapter 20, Moses and Aaron and all the congregation of the Bani Israel did unto the Levites according to all that Yah commanded Moshe concerning the Levites, so did the sons of Israel do to them. So you have an instruction, you have a fulfillment of the instructions, right? So we are compiled. We're still reading the next level of what happened in the Exodus when we read the law with the separation and the building of the tabernacle, which is the same instruction as compiled, which was in the book of Leviticus, which compiled right back on top of that same point. Okay? So we're piling up this information to give you one whole picture so you can see this isn't a Shabbat day kind of thing.
Right.
This is an everyday thing, and they're resting literally on the Shabbat. They laying down. They're not doing nothing.
Right.
But I'm tired. We had all this work to do. This is my day off.
Yes.
Okay? And the Levites were purified, and they washed their raiment. And Aharon presented them as an elevation before Yah, and Aharon made atonement for them to purify them. And afterwards, the Levites went in to fulfill their ministry in the tabernacle of ordinance before Aaron and his sons, as Yah commanded Moshe concerning the Levites, so did they unto him. Okay?
Wow.
And Yah spake with Moshe, saying, This is the instruction for the Levites who are not qualified
We're not disqualified.
That's who are not qualified. That word is not qualified, is profane. That's disqualified. By their blemishes from one of 25 years and upwards. He shall come according to his company to the service of the tabernacle of ordinance. Okay? So Levites serve in the tabernacle of ordinances from the year of 25. And from 50 years of age he shall return from the band of the service and serve no more.
Wow. So their retirement is at 50.
50.
So
A Levite can only serve in the tabernacle for 25 years. So he's in the administration from 25 to 50. Okay? So if you are qualified, let me just phrase it this way. For those who are qualified and not disqualified by their blemishes, from the age of 25 to 50, you may serve in the tabernacle. At 50, you can return from the service and serve no more. You go home. Yet he may minister with his brethren at the tabernacle of ordinance in keeping the watch, but he shall not do any of the service. So shall the Levites act in their charge. So he can keep the watch. What is the watch? A watch is a supervisory role. He is overlooking, right? Night shift, making sure supervisory role. He can keep watch, making sure this is this. He cannot touch nothing, but he can keep the watch. He goes into a elder position, making sure things are done right all the time, no matter who's on shift. This is his passion. So he isn't cast aside or cast out. He is now a respected elder. If he tell you an instruction on how to do something, you are to follow and listen. Okay?
wow.
So now that's Leviticus chapter 8. And this is the discovery of your nobility, of what nobility is, so that you can understand. Because as we are gathering people, I know everybody we gather is probably not going to watch this video. But this is something that will be repeated to them and even shared with those who arrive so that they can understand there's no politics involved in the ordering. Okay? Princes are princes because they do princely things. Okay? If you're doing things to become a prince, right? Like, I want to be a prince, that's probably not going to work out for you. You say, what? A prince is a prince is a prince. If you are of the children of Israel, you are automatically of royal blood. But that does not mean you will receive the appointment. You may be disqualified. So there is an instruction so that you can be qualified. The purpose of the service is the diligence just to be in the service, has little or nothing to do with your personal desire. It's just the fulfillment of the instructions. I was called to this, I'm just doing it.
You were appointed.
That's it.
And nobody can change that fact.
So you see now with the Levites, you can be disqualified. You have a blemish, there's something wrong, this, that. Okay, no problem. You can be in the watch, but you don't touch anything. Now, the other point being, you're 25. You don't have a blemish, and you called to serve. You in the service.
That's right. As you're saying this, I'm sitting here thinking about what we were reading yesterday, how, Gershon received a wagon, Merari and them received wagons, but Kahath received none. So I can put being
You in the,
25
you in the service.
because you're strong, you can bear on
Put
your
this on your,
shoulder to
put this on,
carry.
you carry this on your shoulders.
Yeah.
How far we walking today? I don't know. Wherever that cloud stops is where we gonna be.
Right.
And we gotta now walk this over there. And there is a certain way to walk, a certain swagger you're gonna have, because we have to all be together. So again, one step at a time, one day at a time, we're gonna build and continue to welcome, the returning family and friend members, family, friends, and members of the congregation. And we hope to continue to keep receiving, the contributions, because it's a lot of work that we have to achieve in a short time. So we'll reach out to who you can. I know, I can't tell you, reach out to who you can to get this work done. And as you see like-minded people, begin to group and band yourselves together. Sometimes if your contribution is just taking care of your needs to get here, that's it. That's enough, right? For those of you who have more, trust me, give more, because if you get here, you'll find that there is only spending. If you don't create your own business, there'll be only spending. And creating a business here when you arrive is exceedingly difficult. Exceedingly difficult. You need a community organization for support. So that's our time for today.
Yes.
One step at a time, one day at a time.